years ago, on the 40th day of the independence of Ghana, the former president of Tanzania, Julius Kambarage Nyerere, was here. And he spoke. And he apologized. He said Nkrumah was right, we were wrong. He was right because he foresaw that if African countries became used to titles such as president and prime ministers and ministers, it would not be easy to unite the continent. But he reminded his audience on that day that when African leaders go out or Africans go out of Africa, it is not their Ghanaian-ness or Rwandan-ness or Kenyan-ness that matters. It is their African-ness. He was reminding us that we need a continent that is borderless. He told us. So today, as we have this conversation, let us remind ourselves that this is not a new conversation. In 1980 in Lagos, Nigeria, under the Lagos Plan of Action, we promised ourselves that we would enhance intra-African trade, that goods from Addis Ababa in Ethiopia would move to Casablanca in Morocco, that we would have goods moving from South Africa to Maputo, and we said that we were going to achieve this through the regional economic communities such as ECOWAS, SADC, COMESA, the Maghreb, the East African Community, the IGAD. But if you go on the ground, the reality is very different. Aliko Dangote, whose image is displayed outside of this auditorium, famously said that he needs more visas to travel across an African continent than an American blogger who has the passport of the United States of America. That is the reality of our continent. It is the reality of our continent. So that as we talk about doing business with ourselves, African heads of state run to the Oval Office in the United States of America to sign AGOA, to sign off their health arrangement, to sign off with the European Union, and to play the gooseberry in Davos. That is where we are. So today we have come here to dramatize our anger. We have come here to dramatize our sense of urgency. My good sister Nkosazana Lamini Zuma, who served as the chair of the AUC from the year 2012 to 2017, during which period the Africa Agenda 2063 was incubated. I remember the fictional letter that you wrote from the future. Your letter to Kwame Nkrumah, dated the 24th day of January, the year 2063, in which you are telling the Osagyefo that Africa has grown, that Africa has changed, that the promises we made to ourselves have been fulfilled, that we have electricity, that we have roads, that we can now produce what we consume and consume what we produce. It is 37 years away. The question is, will you release that letter to the Osagyefo? Will our promises come true? Will the young men and women who are present here be given the opportunity to serve? Will we enable them? We talk of the numbers. We talk about 1.4 billion. We talk about it as a youth dividend. But our young men and women are running away and dying in the Mediterranean because there are no opportunities. They are running away because we do not create an environment where they can invent and innovate. The question is, how are we going to change this? The answer is, we must rethink Africa. The answer is, we must make Africa different. We must make Africa work. We must have self-esteem. We must be able to understand that nobody is going to help us. But unfortunately, when I listen to the Osagyefo, and I do many times, we got the crown without the jewels. The time is now to change the situation. The question is, are you ready?